Yamuna was in her late 20s when this incident happened. She was visiting a temple for a friend's wedding and she notices a very familiar face in the temple premises. Yamuna's husband asks her where she was headed to and she answers, "That lady over there seems very familiar. Let me go check on her." To her surprise, it was her 9th grade Sanskrit teacher and she was cleaning the temple premises as a service. Yamuna goes to her and greets her old teacher. She also shares that they live close by to this temple and she asked the teacher to come visit them sometime soon. The teacher agreed as a formality, reluctantly. She's quite old now but she's as proud as usual, Yamuna thought to herself. That night, she shared with her husband that back in the day, their teacher was very strict and they hated her for that. They took Sanskrit elective thinking it was an easy subject to score, but this lady didn't let them through and they almost failed her class. We used to call her Brahma Rakshasi and she has not changed one bit since then, the student chuckled. Yamuna frequented the temple and found the teacher always there. She noticed that the priest knew her really well, so the teacher had a sort of childish pride in serving the temple, earning her prasad and being able to stand in front of the line for darshan, such sort of things. Yamuna suspected that something was not right, so she went up to the temple priest, who seemed to know the teacher really well. The priest said,
"Sudha recently retired from her teaching and doesn't have anyone at home who can take care of her or whom she can take care of. Her sons are busy with their careers and family. She has a huge place, but no one to talk to, so she spends time at this temple helping me out."
Yamuna feels a tug at her heart and decides to help her teacher out. She goes up to her teacher the next morning in the temple and offers a bank check. The teacher refuses with a forceful smile, but Yamuna kept on insisting. And the teacher finally loses her cool and schools the student that not everything can be solved with money and wealth. Yamuna starts to walk away from the teacher with a fast pace as if someone actually hurt her physically. Clearly her ego got punctured. She stopped going to that temple to avoid that crude woman whom she hated in the first place since childhood. When her husband asked about her teacher, she said, "Although she was such a bad teacher growing up, we put up with her and now out of my generosity, I thought of offering some help to her and she didn't just reject it but actually shouted me down as if I'm still her student. Such a character." The husband replied,
Old people are stubborn. Leave it be. We have a big day tomorrow, so rest for a bit."
The next day they had Shiva Puja at home and everything had gone almost as planned and it was a great success as per Yamuna, but not that grand an affair as per some of her neighbors' gossip. The priest who facilitated the puja was from her teacher's temple. So when Yamuna was sending him off, as a matter of formality, she inquired about her teacher. The priest replied,
"He has not been keeping good health these days, Yamuna."
Yamuna replied, "I have tried helping her for her treatment, Guru Garu, but she has very strongly rejected my help. She actually shouted me down when I offered. No wonder she is alone." Then the priest replied,
"Some illnesses are from a lack of purpose and belonging, Amma. They may not be cured in a hospital. If you truly want to give, don't give her what you think she doesn't have. Give her what she actually wants."
Yamuna feels so heavy that day after her conversation with the priest, as she kept pondering over how childish she was towards her teacher. And as she tried to slip into the night's sleep, she gets a bright twinkle in her eye as a thought flashes which has put a smile on her face. The very next day, Yamuna takes her kid along with her to the temple. She feels her legs getting heavier as she felt guilty and shameful about the way she handled their last interaction. She somehow brings herself together and gets up to Sudamma and taps on her back. Both ladies get into a conversation, a long one at that. The kid got too bored and started playing around them. At the end of their chat, Sudamma could feel a sense of duty as she got a plate from the temple Garbhagriha with an unstitched cloth and a few offerings from the deity. The teacher instructed the kid to take a dip in the lake and come. He looked at his mom doubtfully and she nodded. The kid obeyed reluctantly. Yamuna changed the kid into the unstitched cloth and she started to depart as the teacher gave a blessing to the kid and started reciting the Vidyarambha mantras. As days passed, the class grew in number and she is seen jolting between the temple mandapam, where the classes are held these days, and the Garbhagriha for the pujas, as she is doing the two dearest things for her in life. People who think they have retired are the ones who stopped living. If you taste the immense pleasure of sharing and being of worth for someone else, there is no retirement for you.